lost swathes of gold, but a new hope has been kindled, with the promise to return Lake Town to prosperity. Thror's grandson Thorin, the rightful heir to the throne, has returned to reclaim his kingdom. The king beneath the mountain, the king of carven stone, the lord of silver fountains, shall come into his own, and all shall fail in sadness, and the lake shall shine and burn. After journeying across Middle-earth, Thorin's company arrived at the secret door to Erebor, just in time to see the end of Durin's day. The only time of year the moonlight shines upon the hidden keyhole. Using the key that Gandalf the Grey had given to him, Thorin unlocked the door by the light of the moon, and the burglar Bilbo was sent down to investigate. as the necromancer. Sauron is keeping his prisoner alive to seek out the truth as to who holds the 3 elven rings of power. 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in the halls of stone. As Bard and his followers set up camp in the ruins of Dale, they prepare to face Thorin and his company of dwarfs at the gates of Erebor. Little do they know that the king under the mountain has been corrupted by dragon sickness, a curse that lies upon the treasure that Smaug had brooded over for so many years, and Thorin Oakenshield cannot stand to share even 1 gold coin, no matter who he has promised along the way. King Thranduil of the Woodland Realm once struck a deal with Thorin's grandfather Thror to make his queen a necklace. The necklace was encrusted with rare white jewels known as the gems of Lascalain. But as the rift between the elves and the dwarves deepened, Thror refused to give Thranduil the necklace. Now Thranduil too marches to the gates of Erebor with an army of elves, seeking the return of what he calls the heirloom of his people. On silver thread was strung the light of stars. Holed up inside the mountain, Thorin orders what is left of his company to barricade the gate to protect his beloved gold against the onset of the outside world. Thorin confides in Bilbo and tells him that he believes that a member of the company has betrayed him, and that they have stolen the Arkenstone. Bilbo is taken aback by the change in his friend. He fears Thorin is descending into madness. Although their numbers are few, Thorin and his company prepare for war. I will not part with a single coin, not 1 piece of it. Meanwhile, in the north, Bolg, the spawn of Azog the Defiler, prepares to unleash a devastating weapon to once and for all wipe out the line of Durin and secure the Lonely Mountain as a stronghold. Escaping his imprisonment in Dol Guldur, Gandalf must warn Thorin Oakenshield of the army that marches upon him. As the inhabitants of Lake Town and the woodland elves gather at the gates to negotiate with the dwarves, Bilbo escapes to meet them in the middle of the night. Worried for his comrades, Bilbo attempts to strike a deal with Bard and Thranduil to prevent the war that is about to ensue. Compared to all the treasure in Erebor, Bilbo offers something that is much more valuable, the promise of peace instead of the death and destruction the people of Middle-earth are about to face. I know dwarves can be obstinate and difficult, but they are also brave and kind and loyal to a fault, and I would save them if I could. In a surprising and sudden onslaught, the darkness is closing in. As the thread